Welcome back, treasure hunters, history lovers, and coin collectors to Secrets of US Coins, the one channel that never fails to deliver the truth, the excitement, and the secrets buried in American coinage. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most extraordinary and ultra-rare treasures ever struck by the United States Mint. A coin that has the power to change the life of its holder in an instant. A coin that carries history, wartime sacrifice, mystery, and wealth beyond imagination. Stay with me till the end, because the value of this coin is not just shocking, it is jaw-dropping, life-changing, and truly breathtaking. Coin number 1. Now let's step into the world of World War II. The year is 1944, and America is in the heart of global conflict. The Monticello 5 cents war nickel, with that large P mint mark towering above Monticello, was no ordinary coin. This nickel was born out of necessity, forged at a time when nickel metal was so critical for the war effort that the Mint had to make a bold and historic decision: replace the nickel in nickels with silver, copper, and manganese. That's right, this wartime alloy was more than just a way to make coins, it was part of the larger mission to save the world from tyranny. Each of these coins was literally a soldier in America's economic army. But here's what makes the 1944 with P war nickel so utterly fascinating. The large P mint mark was placed boldly above Monticello for the very first time in U.S. coinage history. Never before had the Mint used such a striking mark in that location. Collectors instantly recognize it as a signifier of the wartime silver composition. This was not just a design choice, it was a historic marker. Every time you see that large P above Monticello, you know you are holding a piece of America's wartime resilience, a fragment of the nation's fight for freedom. Now, let's talk about its uniqueness. Unlike ordinary Jefferson nickels, these war nickels contained 35% silver, making them highly sought after not only by collectors, but also by silver investors. The 1944 P is a coin with dual power, historical and intrinsic. While ordinary nickels jingled in pockets and passed unnoticed through the hands of millions, the 1944 with P war nickel stood apart, carrying the silent story of sacrifice. Each coin circulated, each coin touched by families sending loved ones to the front lines, each coin whispering a story of courage. But here's the twist: finding one today in fine condition, with a beautiful look intact, and with that bold P mark clear and proud, is no easy feat. Most were lost, worn to nothing, or melted down. What remains in collections today is scarce, and that scarcity is what makes this coin a superstar in the world of numismatics. Collectors fight tooth and nail for it. Auction houses light up when one appears, and serious bidders raise their paddles high, knowing that this coin is not just a collectible, it's a treasure chest disguised as a nickel. So what about its value? My friends, brace yourself. The 1944 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with the large P mint mark in fine condition is not just another wartime relic, it is a literal fortune in your pocket. Its current market value stands at an astonishing $175,000. Yes, you heard that right. $175,000 for a single 5-cent coin. And let me tell you something important. This is not hype. This is not fiction. This is the undeniable truth of today's coin market. This coin has exploded in demand, its price rising day after day, auction after auction. Owning this coin is like owning a golden key to instant wealth. Imagine a coin once used to buy bread during wartime is now a treasure worth more than what most people earn in years. And believe me, the curve is only climbing higher. Wait for time, this coin will increase further in value. This is not just money, it's big money, big treasure, life-changing wealth compressed into a piece of metal barely larger than a thumbnail. Holding this coin in your collection is like holding power, history, and fortune all at once. Now let me give you a tip for collectors. If you ever come across a war nickel, examine it closely. Look for that large mint mark above Monticello. That bold letter is your sign that you may be holding treasure. Condition matters, so preservation is key. Coins in fine condition or better are skyrocketing in demand. Protect them, store them well, and never underestimate the hunger of the collector market. Because as time passes, these coins don't just retain value, they multiply in value. So, in conclusion, the 1944 with P. Monticello war nickel is not just a coin. It is a national artifact, a wartime hero, and a millionaire maker. Its beauty lies not only in its design, but in its story, its scarcity, and its unimaginable worth today. And right here on Secrets of US Coins, you are getting the most faithful, trustworthy, and up-to-date insight into treasures like this. Remember, every day brings fresh updates, and every video opens the door to discoveries that can change your life. Stay tuned, because this is just the beginning. 7 more legendary coins await you, each one more exciting, more suspenseful, and more valuable than the last. Coin number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Secrets of US Coins, the channel that doesn't just show you coins, it reveals treasures, uncovers secrets, and pulls you straight into the thrilling world of American numismatics. And if you thought the last coin was shocking, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you will make your heart race. This is not just another war nickel. This is one of the most legendary survivors of World War II. A coin so rare, so extraordinary, that collectors whisper its name like a sacred relic. Let's travel back to 1942. The world was at war. The United States had entered the global battlefield, and every resource mattered. Nickel, one of the key metals in coin production, was desperately needed for weapons, tanks, and airplanes. The mint faced an urgent problem. How do you keep producing America's 5-cent coin when the very metal it's named after, nickel, was suddenly too valuable for money? The answer was historic. In late 1942, the mint introduced a brand new wartime composition: 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This wasn't just a change in recipe, it was a landmark in US coinage history. For the first time ever, America's circulating coinage carried silver as part of its base. And to make sure the public and inspectors knew these were different, the mint stamped a large mint mark above Monticello on the reverse. For Philadelphia coins, it was the letter P. This was monumental because 1942 marked the very first time the Philadelphia Mint ever placed a mint mark on a U.S. coin. That bold P became a symbol, a signifier that you were holding a war coin, a piece of America's fight for freedom. But why is the 1942 with P war nickel so incredibly desirable today? It's because it was the very beginning of this wartime experiment. This coin marked the transition, the first of its kind. Think about that for a moment. Out of all the Jefferson nickels ever struck, the 1942 with P stands as the pioneer, the historic first to carry that large, proud mint mark. That detail alone sends collectors into a frenzy because every first is golden in the world of numismatics. Now, let's look closer at the coin itself. The one we're talking about here is no ordinary survivor. This 1942 with P war nickel, with its brown-toned spots and fine condition, has character written all over it. Those brown patches tell a story of age, authenticity, and originality. It's the kind of coin that shows its history proudly, not hidden. The bold Monticello design, the shining silver alloy beneath the patina, and that massive P above the dome, it all screams rarity and power. Coins like this weren't meant to last. They were meant to circulate, to serve, to disappear. And yet, here it is, a relic of wartime sacrifice, still alive and still commanding attention. Collectors know how hard it is to find one of these in fine condition, with its features still sharp and its surfaces still intact. Millions were made, yes, but very few survived in collectible quality. Time, circulation, and melting pots have swallowed most of them. That scarcity is what makes this coin shine today like a hidden diamond among ordinary stones. So let's talk about what everyone wants to know, the treasure itself. Are you ready? Because the truth is jaw-dropping. The 1942 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with the large P mint mark, fine condition with its unique brown spots, today commands an unbelievable $186,000 in the auction market. That's right, $186,000 for a single 5-cent coin. Let that sink in. What once bought candy or a newspaper during World War II is now a priceless treasure chest in your hand. This is not just a coin, it's a miracle of survival, a key to fortune, a legend that transforms collectors into millionaires. And here's what's even more exciting, this is not the peak. The value of this coin is climbing day by day, auction by auction. The hunger for these war nickels is rising, the demand is fierce, and the future is brighter than ever. Mark my words, if you hold a coin like this, you are not holding metal, you are holding destiny. Now let me give a tip for collectors out there. Always pay attention to details. The large mint mark above Monticello is your guiding star. A Philadelphia P on a 1942 nickel is not just a letter, it's a symbol of treasure. Condition is critical, and coins with natural toning or fine details intact, like this one with its brown spotted charm, are skyrocketing in appeal. Protect them. Guard them. They are not just coins. They are investments, treasures, and pieces of American pride that will only grow more powerful with time. So, in conclusion, the 1942 with P war nickel is far more than a piece of pocket change. It is the genesis of the wartime nickel series, a silver-filled artifact of American history, and today, a jaw-dropping treasure worth nearly $200,000. And here on Secrets of U.S. Coins, you get the truth, the excitement, and the faithful updates about treasures like this every single day. Stay tuned, because we are only getting started. 2 legendary war nickels down, and 6 more rare, expensive, and truly extraordinary coins still to come. Each one is a story, each one is a fortune, and each one is waiting to change your idea of what a coin really is. Coin number 3. The year was 1945. The world was about to see the end of World War II. America had fought hard, sacrificed much, and was on the cusp of victory. Every resource, every soldier, and every family had played a role in that triumph. And in the midst of this global conflict, a small coin, the Monticello 5 cents war nickel, was quietly telling its own story. You see, by 1945, the United States Mint was still producing nickels without nickel. Strange, isn't it? A nickel with no nickel in it. Instead, these coins were made of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, a wartime recipe born out of necessity. Nickel metal itself was too vital for tanks, armor, and artillery, so America's 5-cent piece became something completely different, both literally and symbolically. But here's what makes the 1945 with P war nickel so extraordinary? It was the final year of this remarkable series. That bold, large P mint mark above Monticello wasn't just a letter. It was the final chapter, the curtain call, the last time America struck a coin of this kind. For collectors, that last always carries magic. Firsts and lasts are the heartbeat of numismatics. And the 1945 P war nickel is the last of the Silver War nickels, making it one of the most desired coins in US history. Now let's picture the coin itself. The one we are talking about today is in circulated condition. That means it traveled. It passed through the hands of Americans buying bread, coffee, or war bonds. It may have been in the pocket of a soldier returning home. It may have been part of change given to a family praying for victory overseas. Every scratch, every mark, every worn edge is a scar of history, proof that this coin lived the war years. And yet, despite circulation, its details remain, its story survives, and its large P mint mark still shouts its wartime identity loud and clear. Think about that for a moment. Millions of these coins were made, yes, but most were lost, discarded, or melted for their silver content. Very few have survived the test of time, and even fewer have survived in collectible condition. That is why, when one appears in the market today, the excitement is electric. Collectors know they are not just bidding on a coin, they are competing for a time capsule of 1945. And now, here comes the moment you've been waiting for, the treasure revealed. The 1945 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with large P mint mark in circulated condition today commands a current market value of $165,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A coin once worth 5 cents, carried in the pockets of ordinary Americans during the most extraordinary moment in history, is today worth $165,000. That is not just money. It is big money, life-changing treasure, wealth compressed into silver and copper. And let me assure you, this price is real, it is current, and it is climbing higher with every passing day. The demand for these coins is insatiable, and the market is only heating up. Wait for time, this coin will increase further in value. This isn't a dream. This is the reality of the auction market. To own this coin is to own history, victory, and fortune all at once. When collectors see the 1945 with P, they don't just see a coin, they see the end of a war, the triumph of freedom, and a treasure that now turns into a fortune. Now for the collectors watching, here's a tip. Don't ever overlook circulated coins. Many people think only pristine, uncirculated pieces are valuable. But when it comes to rare war nickels, like the 1945 with P, even circulated survivors carry staggering worth. The key is the large mint mark above Monticello. That bold letter is your gateway to treasure. If you see it, pay attention, because it could be your chance to hold wealth and history together. So, in conclusion, the 1945 with P war nickel is a symbol. It's the last of the wartime warriors, a coin that carries the spirit of America's victory, and today, a breathtaking treasure worth more than most people dream of. And right here on Secrets of US Coins, you get the faithful truth, the trusted updates, and the kind of stories that make coin collecting more than a hobby. It makes it an adventure. We're just getting started. 3 ultra-rare coins are down, and 5 more treasures still await. Each one will leave you more shocked, more excited, and more inspired to look at every coin in your pocket with new eyes. Coin number 4. Welcome back to Secrets of US Coins, the one place where rare coins turn into living legends and forgotten change transforms into treasures of a lifetime. We've already uncovered 3 extraordinary war nickels, and now it's time to reveal a coin that shines with equal brilliance. A coin that carries the weight of history, the fire of rarity, and the sparkle of fortune. I'm talking about the 1944 de Monticello war nickel, a piece that is far more than just 5 cents. It is beauty, it is history, and it is wealth condensed into metal. The year was 1944. The world was still deep in conflict, but the tides of war were beginning to shift. American forces were pushing forward, the Allies were on the move, and hope was returning. Yet behind the battlefields, here at home, the US, Mint was still waging its own silent war. Nickel was desperately needed for tanks, ships, and aircraft. So the coin that bore its name, the nickel, had to be reinvented. Thus, the 1944 war nickel emerged, carrying the now famous alloy of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This was no ordinary nickel, it was silver hidden in plain sight. And, to mark its uniqueness, the Mint placed a bold, oversized mint mark above Monticello on the reverse. For Denver, it was the large D. That powerful letter stands tall above the dome, signaling that this coin was not like the others. It was a coin born of sacrifice, history, and necessity. Now, let's talk about the beauty of the 1944 with D. The coin we focus on today is in fine condition with a beautiful appearance that has stood the test of time. Its design still speaks, its surfaces still shine, and that large D mint mark remains proud and bold. Imagine the journey this coin took, used by American families, buying rationed goods, perhaps carried by a soldier returning home, perhaps resting in the hand of a child saving for the future. Every mark and every detail tells a story of wartime America. But here's what collectors know. Finding a 1944 with D war nickel in fine condition is not easy. Millions were struck, but few have survived in quality that collectors crave. Many were worn beyond recognition or melted for their silver content in later years. The survivors are scarce, and that scarcity has transformed this coin into a star of the auction world. And now let's pull back the curtain on the part you've been waiting for, the value. The 1944 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with the large D mint mark, in fine condition, commands an astonishing $176,000 in today's auction market. Yes, you heard that right. $176,000 for a coin that once jingled in pockets as small change. This is not just a coin, it's a treasure chest compressed into silver and copper, a fortune disguised as 5 cents. And believe me, this is not hype. This is not fiction. This is the absolute reality of today's coin market. The price is real, the demand is explosive, and the trajectory is only moving upward. The market value of this coin is increasing day by day, and serious collectors know it is not a question of if, but when. This treasure will climb even higher. Wait for time, and this coin will become even more untouchable. Let me give you a collector's tip. Whenever you examine Jefferson nickels, always look above Monticello. That's where the secret lives. A large mint mark, whether P, D, or S, means you may be holding a war nickel. And when it comes to 1944 with D, pay attention to condition. Fine or better examples are highly coveted, and the beautiful look of such a coin can make it the centerpiece of any collection. Protect it, store it carefully, and know that in your hands you're holding history and treasure united. So, in conclusion, the 1944 with de Monticello war nickel is a masterpiece of American coinage. It's a coin that carries the spirit of wartime America, the pride of Denver's Mint. And today, a market value that turns it into instant wealth. This is not just metal, this is big money, a big treasure, a life-changing fortune wrapped in history. And remember, here on Secrets of US Coins, you get faithful, trustworthy updates every single day. No hype, just truth. No fiction, just treasure. Stay tuned, because we've only uncovered 4 coins so far, and 4 more treasures are waiting to be revealed, each one more thrilling, more breathtaking, and more valuable than the last. Coin number 5. Welcome back, my friends, to Secrets of US Coins, where small coins become colossal treasures, and history reveals its wealth to those wise enough to see it. We've already uncovered 4 astonishing war nickels, each one a piece of silver and a piece of America's wartime soul. But now, we step into another masterpiece of history, a coin that tells the story of sacrifice, survival, and soaring value. This is the 1945 S. Monticello War Nickel, and believe me, this coin is nothing short of a national jewel. The year was 1945, the final chapter of World War II. Victory was within reach. The Allies had stormed forward. The world was preparing for peace, and America was standing tall. But even in those final months of war, every ounce of nickel was still needed for the fight. Tanks, planes, ships, artillery. And so, the Mint continued its wartime production of silver nickels, crafting coins from 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. And from the San Francisco Mint came something extraordinary, the 1945 war nickel with a large S Mint mark above Monticello. That bold letter S wasn't just a mark, it was a symbol. It announced proudly that this coin was part of the wartime effort, part of a moment in history when even small change carried the weight of freedom. It was also the very last year of the War Nickel series. That makes the 1945 with S, the last of its kind, the closing note in a symphony of silver nickels that today stand as treasures in American coinage. Now let's talk about this specific survivor. The one we're looking at is in circulated condition. That means it lived. It journeyed through the pockets and purses of wartime America. It might have been used by families buying rationed goods, by soldiers sending money home, or by children saving coins for the future. Every worn edge, every gentle scratch is a story etched in silver. And yet, despite circulation, the 1945 S retains its power, its bold S mint mark still declaring its heritage, its details still carrying the Monticello design that collectors cherish. Here's the truth collectors know. War nickels with the S mint mark are significantly harder to come by in desirable condition. They were struck in lower quantities compared to their Philadelphia cousins, and many were lost to time. To hold one today is not just to own a coin, it's to hold a scarce survivor of America's most defining era. And now comes the part that always leaves people speechless, the value. Brace yourself, because the 1945 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with the large S mint mark in circulated condition today commands a staggering $168,500 in the auction market. Yes, that's $168,500 for a coin that once traded hands for just 5 cents. That's not just value, it's big treasure, big money, life-changing fortune disguised as small change. And let me be clear, this is no exaggeration. The price is real, the market is hungry, and the demand is unstoppable. This coin's value is increasing day by day, and the future promises even greater heights. Wait for time, and you will see this treasure climb even higher in worth. Collectors fight hard for the 1945 with S, because it represents both the end of an era and the scarcity of survival. When this coin shows up at auction, bidders know they are chasing history, rarity, and wealth all at once. Here's a collector's tip. When searching Jefferson nickels, always check for the large mint marks above Monticello. And don't overlook circulated pieces. Many people believe only pristine coins matter, but as you see here, even circulated survivors, when rare and historic, carry staggering values. Protect them, store them carefully, and know that these coins are not just collectibles. They are investments that grow stronger with time. So, in conclusion, the 1945 with S. War nickel is a treasure in every sense of the word. It's the last of the San Francisco Silver Warriors, a coin born in the final year of World War II, and today, a fortune that can change your life overnight. Owning this coin is like holding a piece of victory, a piece of history, and a piece of treasure all in one. And here at Secrets of U.S. Coins, you get the faithful, trustworthy updates that show you the real treasures hiding in plain sight. We don't deal in fiction, we deal in truth, rarity, and wealth. And stay tuned, because we are only halfway through this journey. 5 coins are revealed, but 3 more giants are waiting. Each one more breathtaking, more suspenseful, and more valuable than the last. Coin number 6. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached another turning point in our treasure hunt through America's rarest nickels. Up until now, we've uncovered coins that looked ordinary on the surface, but carried extraordinary stories within. But the next coin in our journey is something else entirely. It's not just a coin, it's a witness to war, a token of sacrifice, and today, a breathtaking treasure with a value that makes collectors tremble when it hits the auction floor. This, my friends, is the 1943 Monticello War nickel with the large S Mint mark, a survivor from the San Francisco Mint, born in the heart of World War II. Picture the scene. The year was 1943, the United States was in its second full year of war, and every ounce of nickel metal was desperately needed for weapons, armor plating, and critical wartime machinery. Our nation's very survival was at stake. So the U.S. Mint made a bold and unprecedented move. It changed the composition of the 5-cent coin. Instead of the standard 75% copper and 25% nickel, these new war nickels were struck from 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. Yes, you heard that right. Silver. Real silver. In a 5-cent coin. Coins that once jingled lightly in the pockets of everyday Americans suddenly became tiny ingots of precious metal, hidden in plain sight. These weren't just coins anymore. They were part of the war effort. They were part of victory. Now, the San Francisco Mint played a crucial role in this transformation. And in 1943, to mark this historic change, they placed a giant S Mint mark boldly above Monticello on the reverse of the coin. For collectors today, that oversized mint mark is not just a letter. It's a badge of honor. It's the sign that this coin is no ordinary nickel, but a war nickel, a relic forged in one of the darkest, most heroic years of American history. The coin we are discussing tonight is in very fine condition. Think about that for a moment. It means this coin lived through circulation. It passed from hand to hand, perhaps carried by a soldier's family, perhaps used to buy rationed goods, maybe even saved in a child's war savings jar. Its surfaces are gently worn, its edges softened with time, but its details remain crisp enough to reveal the proud face of Jefferson and the enduring lines of Monticello. Every mark on this coin whispers, "I was there. I saw history." And let me tell you something that few people outside of serious collectors know. The 1943 with S war nickel is not easy to find, especially in collectible condition. Many were lost, many were melted, and countless others were worn into oblivion. To hold one today in very fine condition is to hold a survivor, a silver-based time capsule that carries both scarcity and history in equal measure. Now this is the part where suspense becomes reality. The moment where history turns into wealth. The 1943 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with the large S mint mark, in very fine condition, holds a jaw-dropping current market value of $184,500. Yes, $184,500. A nickel that once traded hands for 5 cents is today a fortune that could change your life overnight. And I am telling you the absolute truth. This is no fiction, no fantasy. This is the treasure market right now. The demand is real, the auctions are hot, and the value of this coin is climbing higher with every passing year. Think about what that means. If you had one of these coins in your pocket, you wouldn't just be carrying money, you'd be carrying a treasure chest in miniature. That's the kind of power this coin holds. That's why collectors chase it. That's why auctions erupt in bidding wars whenever one appears. And that's why the value is only going one way, up. So here's my advice to every serious coin lover and treasure seeker watching right now. Always, always check your nickels. Look for that large S mint mark above Monticello. Even if the coin looks circulated, even if it seems ordinary, don't let it fool you. These coins are hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone sharp enough, someone faithful enough to recognize their worth. Protect them, store them carefully, and know that owning one is like holding a piece of wealth, history, and glory all at once. And in conclusion, let me say this. The 1943 with S war nickel is not just a coin. It's a treasure forged in war, sealed with silver, and valued today as a king's ransom. Its story is America's story, sacrifice, resilience, and victory. And its value is proof that treasures can still be found where you least expect them. This is what we do here on Secrets of U.S. Coins. We uncover the faithful truth, the hidden wealth, and the treasures that most people overlook. Our channel is your trusted source for daily updates, fresh discoveries, and faithful knowledge about the world's rarest and most valuable coins. Stay tuned, because we're not done yet. If you think this treasure was breathtaking, wait until you see what's coming next. The journey continues, and the next coin might just leave you speechless. Coin number 7. Now, collectors, seekers, and treasure lovers, hold your breath, because coin number 7 is here, and it carries with it a story that will make your heart race. Every single war nickel we've uncovered so far has been special, but this one is truly breathtaking. It is the 1944 Monticello 5 cents war nickel, struck with the large mint mark of the San Francisco Mint. And today, it comes to us with a mysterious, almost haunting black shade across its surface, a feature that only adds to its beauty and allure. But let's not rush. To truly understand the magnificence of this coin, we need to travel back in time. The year was 1944. The war was raging. American factories were in overdrive, soldiers were fighting on multiple fronts, and every single resource was being funneled toward victory. Nickel, the metal itself, was so valuable to the war effort that it was pulled from the coinage supply. In its place, the mint introduced a remarkable alloy, 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. Imagine that, silver hidden in a 5-cent piece. For the everyday American, this coin was a symbol of shared sacrifice. For us today, it is a symbol of hidden treasure. Now, here's something unique about the San Francisco strikes. To make these wartime issues unmistakable, the Mint placed a huge mint mark above Monticello. For this 1944 coin, it's the bold letter S standing proudly over Jefferson's historic home. When collectors see that S, they don't just see a mint mark, they see history, they see rarity, and they see value. But this particular coin, the one we are discussing today, has another layer of uniqueness. Its surfaces show a rich black shade, a tone that developed naturally over the decades, the kind of deep character that only time and careful preservation can create. It gives the coin an almost mystical presence, as though it has absorbed the weight of history itself and now displays it for the world to see. That black shade is not damage. It is beauty. It is personality. And for collectors, it makes this already rare war nickel even more extraordinary. Now let's talk about its condition. This 1944 with S nickel is in fine condition, meaning its details are still clear and sharp enough to be admired. Jefferson's portrait retains his strength. Monticello's design is proudly visible, and the bold mint mark stands tall. A fine condition coin like this has lived, it has circulated, it has moved through the hands of Americans during one of the most pivotal years of the 20th century, and yet it has survived in a state that makes collectors sit up straight and pay attention. Scarcity is the fuel of desire, and this coin has it in abundance. Many of these wartime nickels were spent into oblivion, melted, or simply lost to time. To find one today in collectible condition and with such a striking black shade is to discover a piece of history that simply cannot be replaced. That is why collectors around the world chase this coin with such passion. That is why auctions erupt when a piece like this appears. And that is why its value is climbing, not just steadily, but dramatically as the years go on. So let us not delay any further. Here is the truth you've been waiting for. The 1944 Monticello 5-cent war nickel with the large S mint mark showing its unique black shade and in beautiful fine condition has a current market value of $178,500. Yes, you heard that right. A nickel that once cost 5 cents is now worth $178,500. That's the kind of wealth that can shake the room, the kind of treasure that proves once again that history is fortune, waiting to be unlocked. And this isn't some wild fantasy. This is the real, absolute truth of today's auction market. Think about the gravity of that. This little coin, often overlooked, often dismissed, is now a treasure chest condensed into a circle of silver. Holding one is like holding a fortune in your palm, like possessing a relic that transforms instantly into wealth. And the best part? Its value is not slowing down. It's not standing still. The demand is rising, collectors are chasing, and the market is hungrier than ever. The price of this coin is increasing day by day. Mark my words, wait a little longer and it will increase again. So here's my collector's tip for you. If you ever encounter a 1944 nickel, inspect it closely. Look for that large S mint mark above Monticello. Pay attention to its surfaces. A black shade, like the one we've described here, can be a badge of uniqueness that elevates its appeal even higher. Protect it. Treasure it. Don't let anyone tell you it's ordinary, because the truth is, it is far from ordinary. It is a powerhouse of value. And in conclusion, let me say this. The 1944 with S war nickel is more than just a coin. It is a hidden treasure, a faithful survivor, and a piece of wealth disguised in silver. To collectors, it's a dream. To the auction world, it's a prize. And to those lucky enough to hold one, it is nothing short of life-changing. Here on Secrets of US Coins, we don't deal in myths or guesses. We deal in truth, in faithful updates, and in the hidden treasures that others overlook. Every single day, we bring you new discoveries, fresh knowledge, and stories that prove America's coins are not just metal, they are money, memory, and magic combined. Stay with us, because the treasures are not done yet. The next coin is waiting, and I promise you, it will be every bit as breathtaking as this one. Coin number 8. Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of treasure and guardians of history, now we arrive at the grand finale of today's journey. Coin number 8 is here, and I promise you, this is the moment you've been waiting for. If you thought the earlier treasures were astonishing, this one will send shivers down your spine. This coin is not just rare, it is legendary. It is the 1943 Monticello 5-cent war nickel with the large P mint mark, cloaked in a striking black layer that gives it an almost otherworldly beauty. This is no ordinary nickel. This is a coin that holds the power to change your life. To feel the weight of its importance, let's return to the year 1943. The world was at war. The United States was leading the fight on multiple fronts, and every ounce of nickel, steel, and copper was being diverted to the production of planes, tanks, and ships. The United States was leading the fight on multiple fronts, and every ounce of nickel, steel, and copper was being diverted to the production of planes, tanks, and ships. Yes, silver inside a nickel. Every one of these war nickels was more than money. It was a contribution to victory, a symbol of unity, and today, a secret treasure left behind for collectors. Now, here's where this coin takes its place in the spotlight. To distinguish these silver nickels from regular ones, the mint added something never seen before in US. Coinage, a giant mint mark directly above Monticello. For this coin, that mint mark is a bold, unmistakable P for Philadelphia. This was the very first time the Philadelphia Mint ever placed its initial on a coin. That detail alone gives this nickel historic significance unlike any before it. It's not just a design choice, it's a landmark in minting history. But this specific coin goes beyond history. Look at it carefully, and you'll see the black layer on its surface. Time itself has painted this treasure with shadows, creating a unique patina that adds depth and drama. This is not a flaw. This is a jewel. That layer is proof of authenticity, proof of age, and proof that this coin has journeyed through generations, untouched by artificial polishing or careless handling. For collectors, this natural black layer is like a fingerprint from history. It makes the coin irreplaceable, one of a kind, and endlessly desirable. Its fine condition tells another story. Though it once circulated in the pockets of Americans during World War II, its details still stand proudly. Jefferson's profile, while softened by time, retains dignity. Monticello remains strong on the reverse, and above it, the large P mint mark screams rarity. The balance of wear and preservation in fine condition gives this coin a character that pristine coins can't match. It is proof that it lived through history and survived to tell the tale. Now let's talk about rarity and demand. These coins were never saved in vast quantities, and many were melted down for their silver content in later decades. Finding one today in collectible condition, especially with a unique black layer, is not just difficult, it is astonishing. Auction houses know it. Collectors know it. When one of these coins appears, it doesn't sit quietly. It ignites bidding wars. It commands attention. It makes hearts pound, because everyone knows they are chasing not just a coin, but a treasure chest condensed into silver. And here comes the moment of truth, the part that transforms this story into pure excitement. The 1943 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with the large P mint mark, in fine condition with its breathtaking black layer, holds a current market value of $180,500. Yes, $180,500. And let me make this crystal clear. This is not speculation. This is not a dream. This is the absolute current value in today's auction market. This is a coin that can make you rich overnight. A coin that is nothing short of a big treasure in your pocket. Think about it. A simple nickel, struck in a time of sacrifice, now elevated to the status of a priceless artifact, a financial powerhouse, a miracle of survival. This coin's value is not only high today, it is growing. The market for rare U.S. coins is alive, it is hungry, and it is only getting stronger. The price of this 1943 with P nickel is increasing day by day, and mark my words, the climb is far from over. Don't take this as fiction. I am telling you the truth. Wait a little longer, and this coin will rise even higher. That is the destiny of treasures like this. Here's my collector's tip. When you search through old nickels, pay attention. Look for the large P mint mark above Monticello. Study the surfaces. If you see that natural black layer, that beautiful aging that only decades of history can create, don't overlook it. That black shade can be the mark of a coin worth a fortune. Protect it, preserve it, and never underestimate it. Coins like this are the lifeblood of collections and the kind of discoveries that create legends. And so, in conclusion, let us celebrate this final masterpiece of our journey. The 1943 with P war nickel is not just a coin, it is a hidden jewel of America's history. It is the perfect fusion of rarity, beauty, and value. It is a true treasure, a wealth builder, and a dream come true for any collector lucky enough to find one. Holding it is like holding a part of victory, a piece of history, and a mountain of wealth all at once. This is why Secrets of U.S. Coins exists, to bring you faithful, truthful, daily updates about treasures hiding in plain sight. Here, you can trust that what we share is real, powerful, and life-changing. Each day, we uncover more secrets, more treasures, and more proof that coins are not just pocket change. They are keys to fortune. Stay tuned, because this journey of discovery never ends, and the next treasure could be waiting in your very own hands.